All right, guys. So welcome back to the channel. So I have a guest here on the channel, Momos. Momos Tulaga. Welcome. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I don't know. Do you prefer Momos or Mata?
No, Momos, please.
Momos.
I think I need to remove that matter from Instagram. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's good. Right. So, guys, I've created a kind of a playlist concerning the Global Talent Visa, and I just want anyone that wants to apply for this visa to just go and look at this playlist, and you will be super informed on this Global Talent Visa. So, Momos is a new recipient of the Global Talent Visa in Art and Culture, and she is a YouTuber
Okay.
living in the UK. Welcome once again.
Thank you. And I've been watching your videos from when you were still in Sunderland from Nigeria,
Wow.
way before I came here. So I think it's been more than a year now since I started watching your videos. And I've been
Wow.
here almost a year. So,
That, that's a good one. Thank you. Thank you. I think then I was making a whole lot of student videos. So
when
we'll
you were staying
just
inside that small, like a very tiny room.
room. Yeah, I've been in that room for 1 year plus. So yeah, right. So first of all, I just want you to kind of introduce yourself and just give us a brief background on your artistic and cultural field.
Oh, okay. Like he's already rightly said, my name is Momos Tula. I'm the creative director of Momos Tula. My brand name is Momos Tula. So our business is basically a bespoke couture for children. And then recently we're introducing the business casual for ladies, which is still in progress. We're
Mm,
actually on the verge of producing before I left Nigeria. And I left Nigeria in August 2022 to the UK to study.
okay.
But prior to when I actually came, I knew about the Global Talent Visa. I didn't know I
Okay.
qualified until I'd already committed to school and all of that. And I'm like, oh, okay, since I'm already coming for my master's, I might as well I didn't know I was even going to be able to switch from a student visa to
So they
the Global Talent Visa.
good.
Yes, so I decided to just go through the school 2 years program and then switch. Or not until January, I coincidentally, in fact, it was not accidentally. My elder brother introduced me to his friend who is here, and then based on my sister stays in Manchester, I stay in Manchester. Then we just talked, said hello on phone, and then he just said, "Boom, my wife is a student, but we're no longer on student visa." And I'm like, "Oh, what visa are you on?" He said, "Global Talent." That was in my ears just. Like, oh, really? So you could actually switch from student visa to global talent visa. So
Mm,
that's how he told me, oh, yeah, it's possible. And then I started doing my research. Before, I had already done a lot of research before then, but I just paused it because I told myself, okay, 2 years I would apply.
mm,
And then immediately he said that, only that day, I just started again. And then started talking to you. I spoke to other people, but you were most helpful. The other
okay.
persons, they were not really forthcoming and all that. But then, unfortunately, we're not on the same category. So your the information you have is more of the tech side, and
Yeah.
it's slightly different from
What
the
you are doing, yeah.
fashion side. So I more or less blindly did this thing by myself. And then when there was a couple of times, plenty times when I had to like ask you the same questions over and over again and all that. So yeah,
Okay.
the rest
So
is history.
uh you've gotten a global talent visa in art and culture. How did you first become interested in this field?
You mean in the field, my fashion field?
Yeah, art and culture in general. I know you do
I
a lot of
absolutely
fashion
had
work.
no interest. I absolutely had no interest. In fact, if that told me 4 years ago that I
Mm,
would one day start making dresses for anybody, anything, even a doll, I would say it's a lie because I was literally forced by my friend to learn. It took me 2 weeks to learn how to sew.
mm,
I had no idea what a machine looks like. I had no idea how threading looks like, but I think my memory is a bit photogenic. So it took me 2 weeks, and then I was able to the business. And before I got into the business, I held a very good job in Nigeria, to be fair. And at some point, I had to leave my job. So Corona was when I blew. Corona was when I put my brand out, and in the midst of the whole chaos, I even thought it's not going to work out again because I'd already done my shoot, I'd already done my sample clothes, everything was ready, and then boom, there was lockdown. So what I did then was switch from the expensive party dresses to a more casual fit.
Mm.
So I just put that one out first, and a month later, that was in April. We did the photo shoot in March. Then in June or April, May or June, I officially now launched the bigger brand, the brand that was supposed to be launched in March. And because I was working from home at the time, I worked from home for 7 months. It helped me put all my everything inside my small self-contained back then in Port Harcourt, and that was how I started building. And then I did I think what really brought me out to the limelight was a collaboration I did in Lagos with June Wise.
Mm.
That collaboration really really put me out there because the dress was very very nice, and then I used a celebrity photographer as well, so everything just happened was just happening so fast. And when I resumed work, I couldn't manage both anymore, so I had to resign because of course my business was now paying me better, and then I started going from there and stuff like that. So that's how I got into fashion business.
So at this point, you have your business still functional in Nigeria 100%.
Absolutely. Yes. I do. I have my production still in Nigeria. I can't produce here.
Mm.
Producing here is totally out of the question because of the cost and then the currency power. It's too much.
Yeah.
So either I'm going to have to sell outrageous prices. People will still buy, but then I also would want to strike a balance. So yeah, I still produce in Nigeria, but I run everything here.
Okay. I think you've highlighted kind of what motivated you on the visa. Aside from maybe the people that you talk to, is there any other thing that pushed you to be like, okay, I'm definitely gonna apply for this visa?
Yeah, because this business I'm doing is not something I want to do for temporal sake. It's something I want to build into a multi-million brand,
Okay.
if I do say so myself. So it's not a temporal thing to just get a visa and then not do what I'm actually, it's a business I want to do. It's a path I want to follow.
Mm.
I've done the 9 to 5. I'm still doing, I still maybe want to do 9 to 5 a bit, but this is the career I want for myself. So yeah.
Okay. Now let's look at the kind of evidence that you use, because I normally ask everyone this question because a lot of people that are applying for the global talent visa are still confused. What am I using? I am this, I am that. I don't know what to use, or this is the evidence that I have. Is it okay or not? So if you look at your application or the evidence that you supplied, what are the maybe 2 or 3 pieces of evidence that you were like, okay, with this, I believe I'm definitely getting this visa?
Okay, first, before I go into the evidences I use, so for the art and culture fashion category,
Mm.
you have to submit 10 pieces of evidence. I think it's applicable to even technician, I'm not sure, but you have to submit 10 pieces of evidence. Then out of the 10 pieces, they've given you 4 categories. So you need to meet at least 2 of those the criteria. So you must not even have all 4 of them. So what I did was there was the media recognition, there was there was a media recognition, there was the brand recognition, there was a showcase or what's it called now? A sponsorship something. I can't get it verbatim now. And then there was also sales evidence.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have at least 2 of these. So, but in the entirety of the evidence, it has to be 10 pieces of evidence. So, at the point I was trying to apply, I just typed my name on Google to see what comes up. And then I realized I actually have publications I didn't even know about. Like, have been talking about me. People have been stealing my work to do publications without necessarily giving reference to me. And then I've made dresses for celebrities as well, just
Okay.
few of them, but you know how a celebrity does something and then a newspaper or a
Carried it,
blog will
yeah.
carry it. I saw things like that. Yes, I saw collaborations I did with people that Vanguard carried, This Day carried, The Guardian carried, Punch carried. So a lot of newspapers carried those things, and my name was mentioned. Then there were other publications, wider publications, where my dress was even the cover page of one of them, and then there was actually no reference to me and all. But then it's all good because it helps me in that part. Like I didn't know I was that popular.
Wait, oh,
Then
sorry. Let me cut you. All these publications, you are not aware of them.
I absolutely was not aware of them. I didn't know they existed until I went to do this thing. I'm like, okay, let me even see my name. Let me see what comes up when I type my name on Google.
Mm.
And then I was now feeling like, even though my name was not mentioned. But at that point, for me, it felt like, yes, my name should have been mentioned. That's the ideal thing to do. I could sue them for copyright. But then again, it made me feel good because I didn't know I was this popular.
Yeah.
I didn't know my brand was that popular, you know.
Mm-mm.
I didn't know people were watching like that. I've seen cases where people sell my clothes on Facebook, clothes that I have sold out that they would never find the fabric, and then they're just coming people with my, you know. So I was able to get the media publication sorted with those things. Then the other one, I did a showcase in an exhibition in Abuja. I think in 2021. I did an exhibition in Abuja where I came second runner up. So there was all this media presence. There was all the media houses in Nigeria were there, channels, AIT, TVC, everything was there because it was quite big. And then the vice president was supposed to come, but he sent the minister of sports as a representative. So it was a big deal. And I saw a website that had those covered as well. I didn't even know those ones still existed. So I just picked those things up. So I used that one as one of my evidence for the showcase and sponsorship part. Then I also have sales. So for the sales, what I did, because most of my business transactions have been on Instagram and then WhatsApp, it has never been very, very professional where I give you receipts and all of that. So I just took a screenshot of all of those things. Then I had my app, my GIG application, where I had series of transactions as I've done in the past. So it wasn't the thing of I did everything in one day, backdating like 2020, 2021, you know. And then it was all there. So I just took a screenshot of those ones as well. So I used those as my sales, and then some conversations I've had with clients showing that I actually worked with them and all of that. But if you have receipts and invoices, perfect. And then I had an invoice as well. So I just used all of those, put all of them together as one of my evidence. And the other one, media recognition, it was easy for me to get because I collaborated with quite a number of people. And then I have wholesale clients. I've gotten wholesale clients in Canada. I've gotten wholesale clients in the US. I've gotten wholesale clients in the UK that sells my clothes in their name. In fact, it was even when I was about doing this thing, I realized two people, one person used my clothes for Toronto Fashion Week. One person used my clothes for New York Fashion Week. I had no idea.
Wow.
So I had all of those people give me.
Is it like when you said they used your clothes, is it like they kind of use it in maybe for an exhibition?
In their name, no, in their name. So when I do wholesale for people, I don't use my logo. I don't use my label. I don't post their clothes.
Okay.
It's only few of them that we have. They give me the go ahead to post. But if it's wholesale, I'm producing for them, so I have no rights to. If they don't want me to, not like I don't have a right, but they don't want me to, I respect their wishes and I don't post their work.
Okay.
So the people that use maybe let me not use the word mine because it's no longer mine, but clothes I've produced for my clients. So this was used for New York Fashion Week and then Toronto Fashion Week. I think the lady in UK too has done one of them shows here, but I don't know which one. So I got a brand recognition letter from a photographer I've worked with. Then I've got, what's it called? The brand recognition letters from my clients in the US. I got one from him. Then I got another one from, who again? I just met different people I'd worked with, and then I got those letters together. Then I've talked about the media coverage. I've talked about that, and so I met all four criteria actually. But then you must not meet all four criteria. You must meet at least two of them. But I had 44. So I had the four. And then this thing, it's like a 50-50 thing. So the more you have, just pack everything and put, because you don't know what works. You don't know what they would deem eligible and all of that. So I just put everything together. In fact, I even overdid it. And
so you kind of provided evidence in all the four categories.
All the four, yeah, because I had all four of them, yeah.
Okay.
And then I just ticked them evidence and all of that. So it was all together to make that 10 pieces of evidence. Now the 10 pieces of evidence is different from the recommendation letter. That's why a lot of people also get mixed up. It's not same as a recommendation letter. So I got my recommendation. The recommendation letters have to come from one person at least in the US. In the UK, sorry, not US. and then the others can come from abroad. So by abroad, it could be your home country, it could be any other place in the world, but one has to come from the UK because they want to know that you're making sales in the UK. So
Yeah.
I got my recommendation letter, one from Canada, I got one from Nigeria, and then I got one from the UK. Then what else did I submit? I think those were the things. So in total, it was 13. Then I added cover letter is not among, but I added the cover letter. Yeah, a cover letter is not. It's not listed, but then again, anything that will make them get attracted to what you're doing, it should be added. So I added the cover letter because I wanted to.
Okay, the recommendation that you use, were they all playing a part in the field that you are in? Like, were they all into
Yeah.
fashion?
So the recommendations has to come from people who are in your field. It's just not anybody that can give you a recommendation letter. So the recommendation letters I got are people who make children clothes like I do.
Okay.
Then I got one from an event planner. So the event planner is a fashion related, like GT Fashion now. They can give somebody a recommendation letter. So it has to be somebody that is, you can't go and get a recommendation from an engineer.
Yeah.
It has to be somebody, either a photographer, it could be a known photographer, it could be a fashion show organizer, it could be a fashion brand. And then it mustn't be a child's fashion brand if you're into kids' clothing, or an adult fashion brand if you're into adult clothing.
Okay.
I can also give somebody a recommendation letter as long as it's in fashion. So it has to be somebody that, and then not just anybody again, not just anybody because I tell you, it has to be somebody that is doing something. So if I type your name, let's say you gave me a recommendation, if I type your name on Google, there should be something. If I go to your profile, there should be something, a prominent person that they would find eligible.
Okay. Another question. Were you able to provide up to 10 pieces of evidence? That is one. And secondly,
I provided more than 10.
More than 10. All of the 10 pieces, were they all kind of fashion related evidence?
Yeah. So the thing is, this visa is all about evidence. Everything you're doing has to show a track record of what you've done. So the evidence has to be things you have actually done in the past relating to the business. And another thing people should avoid doing is gathering everything at once. So I didn't have to lie. I didn't have to, because these are things I had actually done. My page is there for everybody to see. My website was in the development stage when I applied, because I wasn't using the website. I didn't do a website because of the volume, the size of my clothes. It was difficult. It is still difficult for Waybill to determine weight and all of that. So I left the website for the longest time for that reason. So as at that point I wanted to apply, I had to go and do a website. I had to start the website. I think I paid 350,000 naira for my website.
Okay.
I just wanted, no, that doesn't mean you have to go and pay that amount. You can just do a small website, or if you have a little website. But when the website helps you have this boost of what's this word now?
Online
presence on Google. When you just type your name, exactly. If you have a website, somehow it just pops up.
Yeah.
So I wanted that as well, because I don't really know how these people verify people. So it could be that they will just type your name on Google and see what comes up. It could be that they will go to your website and see what comes up. But because my website was in the development stage, my Instagram is quite strong. And again, they want to also see that you're uploading things. Your Instagram or your social media handles are quite active. Not when you uploaded something 2 years ago. No, that wouldn't work. So even if it's one thing a day, just once in a while, if you can't post every day as usual, just keep it active. So because you never know what they do. I don't know what they do. I don't know how they verify. Yeah.
All right. Looking at the challenges, what kind of challenges did you encounter during the application process?
I was creatively blocked.
Blocked from?
Okay, so right. My recommendation letters, I would always advise it's best either you tell them what you want in your recommendation letter, or you write a recommendation letter by yourself. I always recommend write a recommendation letter by yourself, because you're not lying. You're putting what facts there. Like all the recommendation letters I wrote, actually things I did with these people, how they knew me and the things I've done. We had good relationship, but they won't coin it in a way that you want it to be. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to write it by yourself. So I wrote 3 recommendation letters by myself, and they were all different recommendation letters because we did different things together. The people that wrote gave me the recommendation letters.
Okay.
And then I sent it to them to proofread to be sure everything is in order, not
Okay.
say
Okay.
what did not happen and all of that. So that was, I think that was one of the hardest things for me because I was under a lot of pressure, and then it's scary. I remember the day I was applying, I was having palpitations and my hands were sweating and all of that. Then some days it felt like I want to cry because absolutely I did not know what to write. So I think that was one of the challenges I had. Then secondly, because the people that have this visa under my category are very few. In fact, it's even now, if you check YouTube, you start seeing more people pop up.
Videos. Yeah.
But at the time I started this thing, it was only one girl that was there. I contacted her, but it wasn't too helpful. She was the only one, and there was an interview like this with another YouTuber.
Mm.
And then she was, I think that was about the only one I had. Then the rest were just technician. So I was going into this thing blindly. But that was the biggest challenge I had. I was going into this thing blindly, nobody to ask questions. The only person I could contact, I couldn't afford it, you know. So I was just doing course and join. And then I started talking to you. And unfortunately, you're not even on my category. You were very helpful, but I think to the best of your ability. But there were some things that you couldn't answer because you obviously don't know as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember you wanted to link me up with somebody else, and even that person was not in my category. So it was
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then at the end of the day, I just had to put one or two every day. I used to read this thing like I was writing exam. In fact, I've never even been this serious in my exams. I'll read every day. I go back, it gets more confusing. At some point, it felt like the more I look, the more confused I
The more,
become.
the more you
So
look, the less you see.
exactly. In fact, even when the day I submitted, I started noticing new things. I'm like, oh, what is this? Things I thought I'd done. Do you know how many times I retracted recommendation letters from people that I'd already signed because I realized I did something wrong and I'll come back and write again.
Mm.
It was difficult knowing that I had nobody to guide me and all of that. So I just did everything. It was one guy's video. We talk now. He's a big brand in Nigeria. I didn't even think he was going to answer me because he had them hundreds of followers. But he responded, even though we didn't really, he wasn't, well, let me leave that aside. But then I saw a video of an interview he did with a lady and her husband that came here with technician.
Mm.
In fact, that was like the answers to my prayers. So I saw that video, and then because I'd already gone that far and it was not the thing of me coming to newly look at this thing, it made a lot of sense. I watched that video up to 20 times, and I'm not exaggerating. Even after I applied, I still went back to look at the video. And then I would watch, pause, go back, pause, like that. That was, I followed every step just to make sure my documents are intact. And then I was able to now arrange. And now even sent in my evidences one time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, those things I sent to were not correct. So I had to now go back, rearrange everything by myself again, put everything together. And so that was like the most difficult part, working blindly without knowing what I was doing.
No direction.
Mm.
Yes. I think a lot of
Exactly.
people are coming up on the visa. Probably there will be more information for new people that wants to apply.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, you are a talent now in this field. How do you want to impact the UK economy or society with your experience? One, are you planning to bring your company down here?
Yes, definitely. That's the plan. I know I want to go global. So even before I came here, my clientele base has always been UK, US, Canada. I've delivered close to Monaco before. I've done Italy before.
Mhm.
Somebody reached out to me from Saudi Arabia for wholesale, but it didn't go through and all of that. Thank God for internet. Thank God for internet. So most people don't, I don't know 85% of my clientele. So for me, bringing my business here is what I've always wanted. I'm not shutting down Nigeria. But then because of the way the internet has brought the world to one small,
Yeah.
tiny space, it's easy for me to be anywhere to run my business. But I think I want to leave my landmark here.
Okay.
I want people to know me here. I've got a lot of things planned for my business. I was expanding, like I said earlier, to the business. Because we do strictly children now, and we're expanding to business casual for women, all them suits and pants, trousers, and stuff like that. So these are the kind of things I want to do. So I want to leave my mark here, definitely, and not just here, worldwide. And then I've started even talking to producers and all of that because I won't be able to produce here by myself. It's impossible. Labor here is very expensive.
Yeah.
And then the currency power, I think pound is one of the biggest currencies in the world. So I won't be able to produce here. I would have to outsource my production and all that. So I'm not doing a conventional tailor. Nah. Even while I was in Nigeria, you would not even know that. If you see my location, it was a residential place. You don't come to me without appointment. All of these things, see, it's all about packaging. So I packaged myself in a way that I wanted the respect. So I packaged myself the way I would get the respect I deserve. And that's how I wish to continue here.
Mm.
So it's not a conventional tailor shop where you just walk in and see clothes hanging now. You won't
That's
even know what's
yeah.
happening inside. Exactly. So that's why I want to do. So I really want to leave my brand, my mark here as well. Even though at the end of the day I leave UK, I know I have something here. When you call me Mostula, I want to be the next Zara, the next Primark, the next
I wish you all the
Louis
best,
Vuitton.
all the best, all the best.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask a personal question. If, for instance, I buy your product now, I have the
Hmm.
right to that product, right?
If
And
you buy my product from wholesale, yeah, you have the right to the
okay, I have
product.
the
If
right
you
now.
don't want to, yeah.
So a situation someone buys it and maybe you see them in the New York Fashion Week and all those stuff. How do you know that they are using your product? Or like when you Google and you saw your stuff there, how did you know that okay, this came from you?
I produced it, so I know what came from me. I mean, I made them in my house. I made them in my space, in my store. So I know what comes from me. I know my clothes when I see them.
Like did
Um,
they kind of mention your name
no,
before
no, no,
you
it's not mine at that point. It's not. It's I produce doesn't mean it's mine. So it's like you coming to me. You own a store, for example,
mm,
and then you come to me as a wholesaler, and you're like, "Oh, I want to produce X, Y number of Z clothes." I use your label as well. In fact, as I'm talking to you, I still have people's labels here. In I brought some here
mm-hmm.
because I might start doing some things here and all of that. So they give me their labels. I produce for them, and that's it. If you go to their website to see their clothes that I produced, but it's not in my name. There's no mention of my name anywhere. There are
Okay.
some. There's a lady that wanted me to post it. She didn't mind me posting it on her page. I think that's the only one I posted on my page.
Okay, I
Yeah,
think the point is at the moment you see your product, you will know it, irrespective
definitely.
of anywhere they're using it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I see somebody I taught, so it's like having a parent and then you see the children, they go most times, most often than not, they go the same. If you see your mom and see you, or see your dad and see you, you can tell this is this person's child. So if I see clothes of people because I have a fashion school too, I teach people as well. I've had sets of students graduate through me.
Mm.
If I see people that pass through me, if I see their clothes, they look a bit similar to mine, I would still know. The same way people used to mistake the lady that taught me, my grandma in this business. When they see me, they used to think it was her because I came through somebody she taught. So it's like,
Mm.
I would definitely know.
Oh, that's nice. One more thing, and my last question. What's your advice for anyone that wants to apply for this visa?
I would say just do it. See, for me, yeah, I feel like my mojo has always been I would rather do something and fail than not do it at all. Don't look at this visa from the whole. It is confusing. It's very, very discouraging when you read the thing at first. It's impossible or it looks impossible, but believe you me, it is not impossible. It's doable, absolutely doable. So break it down. Well, if today you write your name, that's progress. If you want to start from the references, that's up to you. If you feel like, oh, okay, let me start from gathering my sales, it mustn't make sense. Just start
Mm.
something, but don't look at it with you. And then I always be mindful of people you talk to. I don't like people who are negative. There's some people you talk to them, they don't even want to hear the end of it. The next thing is, oh, why do you want to do that kind of thing? Are you sure you want to do it? Can you not? What I feel like you should see it in a way or in more of the lights of being positive than always be negative. Okay, I want to tell you, Joe, just try. Let's see how it goes. Let's see if you will get it and all of that.
Mm.
You need people that would encourage you. So be mindful of people you talk to because you might just get discouraged and not do it. But my advice generally, just do it. Whatever happens, if worst case scenario, it's not going to work, but then you tried. It's better to know you tried than not try at all.
Right, that's good. I really applaud your positivity on this visa, going for it without a whole lot of information. You just believe in yourself and you went for it and you got it. Congratulations.
Absolutely.
I know
Thank
you're a
you.
very busy person. I don't know if a lot of people will want to reach out for question, for guidance. I don't know if it's something you would like to do, but
Yeah, absolutely.
as a YouTuber, your information Your YouTube link will be on the screen in case anybody wants to reach out, and maybe your Instagram or any other
Instagram,
information
yeah, Instagram.
you'll be able to provide. Okay, Instagram is fine. Right.
Instagram and YouTube. One is fine.
Right. Thank you so much. This has been a great information. Even me, I've learned a lot from you as well. And we want to see the next Zara coming all the way from the Nigerian
Yeah.
lady. Go for it.
Made
Go
in
for it.
Nigeria.
We are not
Made,
giving up.
made in Nigeria.
All right. Thank you for coming on the channel. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you for all your help.
All
I
right.
really appreciate it.